Good morning, friends, acquaintances, viewers. Here we are. Last cup of an old pot. Woke up around 3 o'clock this morning, a.m. Any day I do any kind of serious traveling, I always have the same wake up, same concept, just itching to get on the road, itching to get into it, see how it goes. Scott Laughlin. Thoughts and words about you last night over the campfire, just being before a road trip and the epicness of your insane professional driving career, dude. Scott Laughlin, good to see you on here, my brother. Wow. I've driven many miles as a team manager / company owner with a bunch of hooligans in a van, and I'm talking 30,000-40,000 miles a year, and just doing road with a crew of skaters pushing fickle skateboards over the years, and I have a whole deal on driving, and it's interesting because when I was younger doing it, I mean, I've been doing this for a while. Since 2005, I've been doing skate stuff. But good to see you, Shannon McDonald. Thanks for joining us. I've been doing skate stuff since 2005 professionally. Good morning, Kevin. Nice to see you, bud. Thanks for joining me. So driving, I've got a 2 hours on, 20-minute stop rhythm that makes me able to drive attentively. That's the key to me. Quality time, quality attention on the road, on the people with me, because every time I've been driving, I'm not only in charge of driving, I'm also in charge of the cargo, which is people. And every 2 hours stop for about 20 minutes stretch. And I have to be ready to jump out of the car and skate on most trips. And that's where some of my biggest injuries have come. I have an Achilles tendon on my right foot. That's my driving foot. Laying that on the gas and holding position for hours and hours, then jumping out, hitting a skate session, pushing and popping with that foot all over the years, friends. I've got it's a real thorn in the flesh. But it was interesting. My friend Scott Laughlin, who's more than friend, he's family to me, both in faith and in family. Scott's family and mine are joined by the marriage of my son to Scott's daughter. And Scott is legendary for good pacing and not speeding and being wise in driving, because he's a trucker, like solid, straight up trucker, and he's not long haul, but he's legit driving truck. And I just love pacing and caution and trying to be wise when I'm driving. It can't stop things that you can't stop, but it sure is a better pace for safety. So I wanted to get on here and share my last cup of a pretty terrible morning pot, because it's yesterday afternoon's pot. I'm probably up at 3 a.m. today because I drank coffee last night, half cup, but I'm getting up there, I'm getting close to 50, and that's when, drinking too much caffeine starts to be a dumb move. But I can't complain. I went to bed around 10. So 5 hours of sleep, 6 hours of sleep is not terrible, and usually means I'll sleep really well tonight. So, what can I say? I'm happy, and I enjoy also spending time doing these videos with you guys, because I've got this thing, and I'm just changing your angle. So I want you guys to see what I see in here and what I've got around me, because these surroundings just can't be, you couldn't beat this with a stick, man. This is awesome in here. You guys are on a $8 Amazon mount that's up on the ceiling, and it kind of spiders its way down. But I was just going through things and thinking, and corresponding with people this morning through the comments on Facebook. And I was thinking, if I could reach out into your homes, if I could reach and have a conversation with each of you, it would probably be a conversation about, of course, I mean a conversation about skateboarding. That's what this is. This public me is the public me about skateboarding. My philosophies, my faith, my mind is involved, and the intersections of those things are unapologetically present. I mean, it would be dumb to try not to have authentic personal intersection, Now, why my phone tell me I only have 10 of battery? How am I not getting power in my phone, guys? Anyway, if you were to have a real conversation with me, yeah, my phone is gonna die. What a sad, sad thing. We'll go till the phone dies, and this one might not make it to YouTube because tech, because reasons. Yeah, because tech, because reasons. But back to what I was saying. If I could have conversations with you about skateboarding, we would probably wind up talking about how skateboarding is kind of returning to the scene of our being a kid. And I hand out a lot of stickers. It's part of my work. My work is filled with favorite things. And I hand out a lot of stickers to people. In fact, yeah, as usual, I don't have a sticker on me. I do have a Gluefoot sticker here. And I often say like, hey, do you have an inner child? And they're like, it always is fun. You just let that shake through, because it's not something people are used to being asked. And they're like, yeah, I do. I see that a lot. People are like, yes, I do. Now we're talking about something, And I'm like, yo, this is from my inner child to your inner child. And that moment when I do that a lot with people, and it's not just sales shtick. I am in sales. I am heading up a team of volunteer reps for Life Skateboards, and I'm proud of what we make. I'm proud of how we make it, and I'm proud of who is making it, who I'm teamed up with, but I think whether, no matter what your job is, it's important for your inner child to be real, or for is that our true self? I mean, it's deep. But I'm like, this is from my inner child to your inner child. Tell your inner child my inner child says hi. And like cutting past all the things that are separating us, and they're real. There are things that really separate people, especially in these like super volatile times. Like things are volatile, but I'm not volatile. And I don't have a problem with, I'm not angry about people who are volatile right now. People are hurting, people are afraid and confused, and I'm not mad about it. And I'm not scared about it. Now, a lot of that has to do with my sense of hope that I have that transcends this scene world, and I understand that in some way. Maybe I have a cheat code, or from some perspective maybe I'm deluded and I ought to be indulging in a greater sense of fight. I'm open to conversations that are critical that way, but here I am. By the grace of God, I am what I am, and I see this inner child to inner child moment I see it as a very, very, very precious thing. Now, you guys can see me get mad, and I'm not entirely conflicted about being mad. I think it's important to be mad, and what makes me mad is when, usually for money, see that freaking smile? That's the anger smile. Usually for money, people are jamming up this inner child to inner child interaction where we should be playing with toys together. they're jamming it up with all kinds of, and you know where you can see this? I mean, you can see you can see it in the Dogtown and Z-Boys documentary. You can see it. Here, you stick a frickin' uniform onto a bunch of outlaw surfer kids. You put them in there. The next thing you know, it blows up. They're getting sponsorships from everywhere. And that's a nasty attitude. It's a bad attitude. You can have great style and not be a jerk to Torger Johnson. That's mean of me to pick on the Z kids, because they were kids. They were just kids doing the best they knew, and man, they were hard scrabble and they were coming up. I would have done this. I did the same thing. I had a nasty attitude. I had a very nasty attitude. There's a few people who remember me from when I was a kid. You guys might see one or two of them poke their head in here now and then. Some people called me Crazy Lou. I was not a good guy, and I'm not mad at the Z kids, you know, who were picking on the Navy Squid kids. And some of those Navy Squids who didn't make the movie and weren't part of the Z cult, they were better skaters than the Z boys. They were ripping backyard pools, and it doesn't matter. What matters is corporations and branding entities and advertising dollars came in, and they put a filter between one inner child and another inner child, to where the one inner child could only engage the other inner child if they were on the same brand team. And this is how they play us. And it's funny because it'll never not be this way, okay? This is not going to be a media engagement between us where I'm trying to stop that from happening. That would be what they call iconoclastic. An iconoclast wants to just tear it all down, and they may or may not promise that they'll build something else afterward. I am not a person who wants to tear it all down. I just want the lights to be on. I just want the lights to be on and for everyone to know. I don't know if you guys know this, but I am somewhat controversial in my area because I live in Cincinnati, Ohio, and I skate in Cincinnati, Ohio. And when I was younger, I was controversial and stood out for being old, all right? Because I was skating in the early 2000s, and there was this whole, wow, there's a guy who's over 25 skating. That was a big deal, you know? And now I'm controversial because I live sandwiched between a hub of YouTube industry, which is like anything from, I mean, you've got a serious hub of YouTube industry skating here. And then on the other end of it, Cincinnati is somewhat famous. Go watch Epically Latereds that are in Cincinnati. And you can see that Cincinnati has this kind of SF wannabe lurker status core, you know, at the D.O. Banks with the 40 heckling kids and catcalling girls type of thing. And a guy like me in an area like this, I'm so old I stand out. I don't do the tricks that are necessary for these guys to accept me as a real skateboarder. That was a big issue. That there's no way Lou can work in skateboarding because he's not a real skateboarder. Because I didn't do the requisite 3-flip, kick flip, heel flips were out back then. Never do a Benihana, which I never will, most likely. Who knows? We'll see. I get froggy sometimes. On the other side, in the YouTube thing, also, like, never ever talk shit on the industry. Like, big time, big rule, big code of silence. On the other end of the spectrum over here, you've got the YouTube, Google money, cheap, order out, $38 decks, largest selling board brand in America, YouTube, and then you got me, a guy with a non-monetized media presence, I'm not promising I won't, but I'm not interested in it. I want to make my money working dignified labor in skateboard production that puts your inner child connected to other inner children without interference. And the biggest interference that we want to eradicate is your deck breaking, sogging out, being terrible, and there's more. But I was thinking about inner children today, and I was thinking like, man, it's work. It's sophisticated to keep it about that. It's hard. The master himself, Jesus, he said, unless you repent and become like a little child, you'll never, I think he said, see the kingdom of God. You'll never, he was offering this profound and deep insight, this profound experience of his kingdom to those who were listening. And he said, you'll never get it if you don't become like a child. And if you ever hang out with kids, they're not very useful. and they're messy. and they don't do things for themselves very well. This inner child thing, man, there's a lot going on there. And a huge part of what I do is an outworking of me being a messy, not always useful inner child man, and having to admit that if I don't have help, I'm not going to make it. And I'm 30-something years into that, and I'm having a good day. And I hope you have a good day too. And it has done my heart good to just spend this time talking about these things. And whether it's skateboards or driving truck or working oil fields, I mean, I correspond with a lot of you guys, and I'm happy to know you. I hope that today I hope today you have hope, and I hope that your faith is built. I hope that you build on the rock, not on the sand. And if your stuff crashes down, don't be afraid to start digging, because the rock is down there. And a one-story built on the rock is a good beach house. That's a good beach house. Don't let the guys with their skyscrapers intimidate you. A little one-story bungalow made out of concrete block, dug down to the rock. That's taller than a big old stilted beach house. I've watched a few of those slide into the ocean. It's cool. It's not cool if you owned one, but thankfully I never will own one, especially not at this rate, and I have no aspirations to do so. Well, friends, have a great day. You are loved, and thanks for joining me over here in my little corner of skateboard making. Peace, friends. Bye-bye.